Hi. So another video I'm going to do is about the fact that there is too much life. That's what someone said to me the other day, and they were quite right. Being neurodivergent in a world where there's too much life is true. It's difficult. So trying to keep up with other people who do all the many different things all at once and still remain sort of not emotionally stimulated by it isn't going to be a great thing for someone autistic to do. We've all got our own good qualities and abilities. Ours quite often can be being emotionally charged and connected. This is a talent for many different areas of life. But when it comes to the way the world has been created, with the many different passwords, online forms, online formats, insurance you need for this, for that, for this, the thing you've got to update, which is that, the bill that needs paying that is that, is blah 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 blah. It's a lot for the emotionally charged, autistic or neurodivergent, because it's pretty much chaos. So when you're an neurodivergent and you have higher emotions and feel more, see more and everything, these kind of things are combining and adding on top. And still the world doesn't recognise that yet, how that will affect somebody emotionally charged. So this is why we have meltdowns, high anxiety, need time to recuperate, need time to sit back, need time to just sit, need stress toys. So the best advice is to reduce that amount of life, because, or if it's possible, somebody do some of those things for you if you've got a good enough wage for your job. So say like with the cleaning or doing your garden or paperwork, somebody, so you can concentrate on your ability and somebody can do the things that are too much for someone neurodivergent or autistic, because it's too much to think about and too much for you, and you shouldn't feel bad about that. You've got your ability there and that person's got their ability there. What we kind of like, it's getting better, I know, but what happens is when we're growing up, we're pressured to think that, we're meant to be able to juggle all these balls, and this is where we're falling on our faces, because the powers that be, they've kind of like created such a complicated life and a world that we live in. It's got so complicated that everything you have is like a clause to it, and you've got to read all the, the terms and conditions to nearly everything these days, and there's an app for this and there's an app for that. Simplify your life as much as you can, if you can, and if you also can, get someone else to do the things that you can't do, who, like a PA, personal assistant, or if you're in work, you can get access to work, so you can get a support worker if your work will accept it, although they don't make access to work easy to keep up, because I think it's every month you've got to get someone to fill it in, and so that's but somebody who's good at those sort of things could do that for you, access to work. If you have a disability in a workplace and there's things you can't cope with, then you can get a support worker, someone to support you with some things. And even when you're self-employed, you can still do access to work. Just somebody to get to do those forms, because forms are hard for us, aren't they? And for some of us anyway. Somebody I met the other day who's neurodivergent loves forms. I was thinking, oh, you'll have a good job, you would, doing forms for many of us. See, there's always a positive somewhere there, isn't there, like that? But yeah, so I just wanted to talk about that. I'll probably post another video in a minute.